Hey everybody, welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie. This is my husband Steve. If you follow us in the mornings, if you hop on for the morning mindset, this week is a little crazy, so it's a little bit later, just so you know. But every morning we like to hop on sometime in the morning to give you something to help you work through your day, a gold nugget, something on your mindset, just to help you look at life in a positive manner.
Yes,
right?
And today's chapter 15, and we're going to go over the facts don't count.
So you can go to KetoMomSecrets.com, and we've gone through lots of different books over the last year. This is the book that we're going through right now. We're on chapter 15. We are going to start the book called One More. Is it called just One More?
The Power of One More.
The Power of One More by Ed Milet, and we'll start that in July. So today we're going through chapter 15. We're halfway through this book
As you're tuning in.
As you're tuning in.
Where are you tuning in from?
Good morning.
How was your day?
It is about to be 100 degrees here in Minnesota.
Which is a great thing.
It is great, but it's not a normal thing. We might see high 90s in August, so the fact that it's this hot, really weirdly, like it was cold, rainy, windy, now hot.
It makes you wonder who's really in control of the weather.
Weird.
Yeah, so weird.
All right, chapter 15 says the facts don't count. The mind is the limit. As long as the mind can envision the facts that you can do something, you can do it. As long as you believe 100%. What do you think?
You think that's true?
I agree with it. If you believe that you can, you will. I'll give you an example. This morning,
Ooh,
my daughter,
I like stories.
My daughter and I went to CrossFit this morning. We went to the 5:30 a.m. class, so I had to get up at 5 a.m. We have to leave by 5:15, so we're not late. And the coach said, all right, make 2 laps around the parking lot. And I walked into the CrossFit gym earlier this year, and I said, listen, I don't run. I'm not going to run. You're not going to make me run, and if you do, I'm going to quit. I'm a little stubborn that way. I don't love to run, but I realize it is in my mind. So as he was like, okay, make 2 laps, I'm like, I'll do 1. I do 1 lap, and I don't feel like I'm huffing and puffing. And today, as there was a whole bunch of people in front of me, I thought, I can do 2. I can do 2 laps. I'm just going to go a little bit slower. You guys, running is in my head. Like as soon as somebody tells me I have to run, I have to fight so hard to tell myself I can do it. And the whole second lap, I was like, I can do it. I can do it. And then as we were rounding the corner to the very end, the wind was against us, and I legitimately told myself, you're almost there. You're almost there. You're not going to die. I'm not kidding. I had to. I had to do that for the workout too.
It's powerful.
I have to do it actually every time I work out.
So where in your life are you having that conversation with yourself?
Like, you can do it.
I'm not gonna
Are you coaching yourself? And then I also realized the power of accountability. So it's so interesting. We were just talking about like CrossFit, working out at home. Is it different if you go to a gym? And as I was working out today, I was like, man, I need to talk to the KetoMOM community about the power of community and accountability. Because as he was coaching us, it was easy. It would have been easy for me at home. Like if I had to do the workout by myself upstairs in our gym, I would have quit if I was by myself, because I would have easily been like, I don't have to do 30 reps. I'm going to do 20. Oh, I'm tired. I'm not going to do it. But when I'm at the gym and we're all doing it together, I feel like people are counting my reps, and they're going to know if I cut it short.
But at the end of the day, they're really not.
They're not counting my reps, but it's just different.
It is. I agree.
So here's what we like the KetoMOM community to be. Like, we want to give you something to think about, something to meditate on, to just understand that you are worth it, to help you understand that mindset is important, and hopefully a place of accountability to where if you don't have anybody in your life or a community right now, my hope is that you're seeking one out, but that you can come here and hopefully go, all right, all of these people that are here watching live, all of these people that are commenting are clearly on a pursuit to better, right? You wouldn't just sit here and watch it if you weren't. And plug in, like treat it as if I'm looking at all of you that are hopping on right now. And if I don't see your name tomorrow, or if I don't see your name later in the afternoon, or maybe like I'm looking for a message from you, how was your day? Be like, she's holding me accountable. Like it's in your mind, right? The coach wasn't counting my reps, but in my head, I'm like, he knows if I only do 28, not 30. So I did 30.
It's great. And you only cheat yourself.
And you only cheat yourself. So it was a great morning workout. We are also a little late because we have driver's ed in the mornings. We've got horse lessons in the morning. It's so great. So, and now we're here talking to you.
All right, so here's a really good thing. Write this down. Learn to think impossible thoughts. The person with imagination beyond their present circumstances is never alone and never finished.
So I got home this morning, and then I walked into our bedroom, and you were listening to a book.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the book was talking about? Or I didn't know if you were just listening or if you were sleeping.
I don't know what part you
He was talking about creativity and how often as adults, the older that we get, it's almost like creativity is looked at as a bad thing, but he was talking about the power of being creative, using your mind, using like seeing things before they happen. And I don't know if you caught that part, but I walked in and I was like, oh, that's so good because it aligned with the book.
What did that mean to you?
Well, I think that we think things need to be a matter of fact. If it's a fact, all right. Or if somebody told me I can't do it, then I must not be able to do it. If I can't physically see it, which I am working on seeing things before they happen, usually Steve will say, oh, I got to create it for Stephanie to be able to see it. But it is important. Can you create pictures in your head? Can you see yourself 20 pounds lighter? Like, can you see yourself running the marathon? This morning I was like, all right, I can do it. I can do 2 laps. Like, can you see yourself doing these things or achieving the goals that you want? And if you can't, most likely you won't do it.
Yeah. Well, this is Rocky. I saw a comment pop up and said, is this Ranger? Nope, this is Rocky.
Yes.
This is Stephanie's favorite.
He's a cute one. All right, so it says, problems really multiply when your dreams stop. You and I have responsibility to feed, nurture, and develop one of the most precious things that we have, our dreams, to make them grow so that we grow. You can go into he says you can go into most gas stations and they will laugh at your dreams, or you can go and walk with the achievers and they will talk to you about their next dreams. Which group of people do you want to be with? The dreamers or the people who are constantly like blaming, shaming, and justifying
It'll never
life?
happen.
So
it is interesting. I mean, even when you're with people or like this summer while you're hanging out with friends or family, what kind of conversations are you having? Are you having conversations of all the things of the past? Like, I remember the good old days. I remember when we used to do this. I remember to do that. Or are you with the people who are like, hey, what are you working on? What are you most excited about? What project are you focused on? Like, what is next? Like, people who are dreaming about creating a better future.
Yeah.
What kind of conversations are you having?
you've got to decide to make a commitment and concentrated effort that you're going to succeed no matter what. And even no matter what the evidence says. He tells a whole bunch of stories in this chapter. I'm not going to read them to you, but he talks about like people not going out for basketball because the coach said they weren't built to be a basketball player. He talks about people either going out for the swim team or other things they wanted to do because they were like, I really would love to do it. And then people saying, actually, no, you're not made to do that. And so it's interesting how often we let people depict our life or tell us the things we should or shouldn't do. I told this story a long time ago, but years ago when I graduated high school, I started a nursing program. So I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be an OB nurse really bad. And I remember sitting in anatomy and physiology class, and I remember sitting, lots of people all around. And then the teacher said, hey, what kind of nurse does everybody want to be? And I said, I really want to be an OB nurse. And she laughed at me and she said, you'll never get an OB job because they're too in high demand and you won't get that position. And no joke, that day I walked to the counselor's office and I quit the nursing program.
Crazy.
That's terrible. Now, I've had lots of incredible opportunities and lots of doors that have opened, and I'm thankful where I'm at today. But I do tell my husband often, I'm like, man, I would have been a great nurse.
You would be, and you still could be if you really want to.
But in general, isn't it funny how you let people's words and what people think of you say, like, you shouldn't do that. You'll never be able to do that. That won't work. Right. And that's what he's saying. Like, who are you going to walk with? Who are you going to surround yourself with? Who are you going to let speak into your life? It's super important.
It's everything.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important. So shout out to Tammy. This is her first time on the live. She's
Hi,
looking
Tammy.
for inspiration. Welcome to KetoMOM. I think the coolest thing is you're, go ahead.
Nope, you go.
She's super fired up. I can sense it. Go for it.
Nope. You said the coolest thing.
You're the coolest
All right.
thing.
So I was listening to a podcast after I was dropping off our daughter from, I don't even know. So I went to driver's training, then drove out to horse, then drove back, and I was listening to a podcast I shared in my stories by one of my favorite pastors. His name is Erwin McManus. He's a pastor out in LA. And I was listening to a podcast called Resilient. It's the most recent one. So if you've got the podcast app, I think you can look it up on YouTube. You can go click on my stories and listen to it. And he said, you know what's so funny?
What's so funny?
He said, he gave an example of, I think it was a pastor or somebody going through a hard time in life, and he was maybe in his 30s, and the pastor called him and he's like, listen, I'm getting a lot of backlash. It's really hard. I think I'm just going to take a year off. He's like, I'm so tired. And Erwin said, he goes, whoever told you life was supposed to be easy and that you should just be able to succeed in whatever you want without hardship? He's like, we make life seem so easy. He's like, we have this there's nowhere, whether you believe in the Bible or there's nowhere that says, hey, it's going to be easy for you to achieve this. Hey, guess what? Life is just easy. He's like, listen, man, I'm 30 years older than you, and I have been tired for 30 years. 30 years, because every day I get up and I do the things I know I need to do because I've got a calling on my life. I've got things that I see in the future that need to be done, and they're not going to get done if I don't do them. And I'm going to take it back to even just your life right now. If you don't look at anybody else's life, get up in the morning with resilience to go, it's not going to be easy. There's a simple process to it. Get up, move your body. If you're solely here for fat loss, it's not hard. It's consistent, resilient effort. It is.
Ooh.
You get your butt out of bed and you move your body the best that you can. And then you drink your water or your ketones, and then you don't eat the sugar, and then you make the best choices possible, and then you read a book to work on your mindset. He's just like, it's not easy. It's going to be hard. The more you do it, you can get into a flow, right? But life is not just going to hand you your goals. It was really good podcast.
I mean, I'm learning so much today.
It was a good one.
Thanks for letting me sit here to listen. This is
okay,
amazing.
What would you like to say? Sorry.
No, I like this last line.
Yeah, you say.
So we'll say this last line, and then we'll get your closing thoughts, because this has been great.
All right.
Not being a person of imagination causes your life to be less than it was intended to be.
Yeah.
And I love it because Stephanie's spot on. Erwin is spot on. Your life is created. You were created for infinite possibilities. There's so much that you were created to do. And life shouldn't be easy.
Right.
I think for most of us, as most of us, we tune in from America, and we've been kind of through this last 2 year, this interesting whole shift in culture.
Right.
And the economy. And I don't know, I think there were a lot of, I'll just say, handouts that were given.
Yeah.
And it's created this dependency
right.
on certain people other than yourself. And I think today's the day where you're like, you know what? I'm going to do something.
You're in charge of your life. I mean, ultimately God is, but if you're not going to get up, it's not going to.
So here's what's interesting. God has great things in store for your life, but you have to be willing
He will open
to
doors
step
for
through
you.
the doors.
Yes.
You have to be able to walk in faith. You have to take the action. That's the thing. To have a conversation, you can't just you have to move your mouth.
Yeah.
You have to move your lips. You have to use your hands to create.
Right. I think the last thing I would say is, I would say, to whom much is given, much is expected. I'm going to guess that everybody on here, if you look at your life, you've been given a lot, and you're expected to take care of that, even if it's just looking at your body and your health, you're alive. And so I think about, we just had a big party, about 112, 13, 14, I don't know, people out here on Sunday for a baptism for our church. And I mean, the amount of time that my husband and our friends spent on our yard and the lake and digging out weeds, everything looked so beautiful. Sunday was the perfect day, right? It was amazing. And sometimes we'll say oh my goodness, this place is so much work, but it's going to be work. Just because we have it doesn't mean that we just get to sit back and twiddle our thumbs. So yesterday it rained. Ridiculous,
it was
storms,
flash flood morning.
We haven't had in a long time, and then we walked outside.
Our dock is flooded right now.
We walked outside to the beauty that was created for Sunday.
Off the lift and it's on the other
We've
side.
got paddles missing. We've got a boat across the lake. We've got a dock that's covered in water, and it legitimately looks like an earthquake came through and took all of the sand and put it in the water. And it's so interesting because it would be so easy every single day to go this isn't right and this isn't right, and then I think, it's not a big deal because it's all work, and we are blessed with it, so we get to take care of it.
It's just the door.
Anyways,
it's just the door. It's
life
okay.
is.
Don't get them.
You know what? Life is what you make of it.
Okay.
You can either look at it in a positive manner and go after what you want, or you can whine and gripe about it,
He's the guard.
and that's going to be your life.
Are you fired up like Rocky in your life?
All
and
right.
ready to attack anything that comes through the door.
That was chapter 15. Chapter 16 tomorrow is if you quit, you lose.
That's so true. So I guess even on that note, we walked through the yard yesterday, and when the flash flood came through, rose everything. I mean,
which we're thankful. We love the
beach
water went
area
up.
is
Non-existent.
I mean, we should show
Our
you some
sand.
pictures. Like it looks like an earthquake.
I'll actually post them. I'll do a little like story today, and I'll show you what happened to our land.
But you
It's
know
not a
what I
big deal.
like about that?
You just have to redo it.
It strengthens the foundation.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think of. So I just got some more work to do.
Every day. You can either work or be lazy.
It's good.
The ants work.
Yeah.
Be like an ant. It's in the
And
Bible.
did you know, aerodynamically, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly.
Oh yeah, this is great.
But the bumblebee
Last fact for
doesn't
you.
know. They don't know that. The bumblebee doesn't know that. So guess what? It goes on flying anyways.
I love that.
So, where in your life have you limited your thinking? Where in your life have you limited your possibilities and your potential? And just know that you were created for greatness. Why? Because greatness made you. So,
All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll come back on later today sometime. We're going to play in the water for a little
goodbye,
bit.
Mr. Rain.
We appreciate
Say
you.
goodbye.
Your presence matters. I'd love for you to press the share button. Sharing is caring. And
Down
we'll
below,
talk to you
click the
later.
button.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good